Good morning, students. I am Vishnu Prasad, Assistant Professor, BITM Mechanical. Okay. So already I have explained in the Module 5, Chapter 1, Air Compressor theory part. That is a single stage reciprocating air compressor with clearance and without clearance. That is a work required per cycle for a single stage reciprocating air compressor with clearance and without clearance. So based on this, we are going to now I am going to solve some problems for a single stage reciprocating air compressor with clearance and without clearance. So you can see here problem 1. It is given that a single stage reciprocating air compressor, it takes 1 meter cube of air per minute at a atmospheric pressure of 1.013 bar and 15 degree centigrade and delivers it at 7 bar. Okay. Assuming that the law of compression is PV to the power of 1.35 equal to constant. So, and the clearance is negligible is given. So, initially the atmospheric pressure and temperature is given and the actual volume of the air that is taken into the compressor is given. So, it is actual air taken is 1 meter cube per minute and at a pressure of 1.013 bar and 15 degree centigrade. So, we have derived already a formula for work done per cycle without clearance, that is n by n minus 1 P1 V1, and in the bracket it is P2 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. So here the given data is he has given V1, P1 and T1, and delivery pressure also he has given P2. So all the data has been given. So substitute directly all the data and you are going to get in kilojoules per second, that is 4.236 kilojoules per second. So here the volume actually in air intaken is given in meter cube per minute, so that's why it is divided by 60. Okay, so it's a very simple basic problem. So next in the second problem it has given that an air compressor is taking air at 1 bar and 20 degrees centigrade and compresses it according to the law PV to the power of 1.2. So PV to the power of 1.2 equal to constant is saying. So that is the n value he has given, it is 1.2. It is then delivered to the receiver tank at a constant pressure of 10 bar. That is the delivery pressure P2 he has given as 10 bar. And he has given the R value here 0.287 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. And he is asking to find out the temperature at the end of compression, work done and heat transfer during the compression of air per kg of air. Okay. So what is the difference between the previous problem and this problem is, the previous problem he has given the volume of the air intaken, but in this problem he has not given the volume of the air intaken, but he has given the R value. So the above formula, instead of P1 V1, it can also be written as MR T1. Okay. So now the first bit he has asked to find out the temperature at the end of compression. So the compression is taking place according to the adiabatic process. So for any adiabatic process, we know that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n. So from this T2 is equal to, so T1 is given as 20 degrees centigrade, put it in kelvins, and he has given the delivery pressure 10 bar and suction pressure as 1 bar. So by substituting this, you are going to get the temperature 430 degree Kelvin. Okay. So next he is asking to find out the work done. So for again we know that formula for work done is for a single cycle, work done per cycle without clearance is given by n minus 1 P1 V1, and in the bracket it is P2 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. But in this problem he has not given the actual air intaken. So when at that time, if you know the temperature and R value and mass value, we can find out. So instead of P1 V1, it is taken as MRT1. But also he has not given the mass, so he is asking to calculate per kg. So let us consider M is equal to 1 kg, and substituting the values, you are going to get work done is 236.0 0.026 kilojoules per kg. So now he is asked, third bit is asked to find out the heat transfer during compression of air of per kg of air is saying. So heat transfer by first law of thermodynamics, we know that heat transfer is nothing but change in internal energy plus work done. Okay, so change in internal energy is nothing but mcv delta T. So why we have taken this cv means the volume is not changing in the compressor, so it's a volume we are not going to disturb in the compressor. So it is given by change in internal energy mcv delta T. So delta T is the rise in temperature after compression. Okay, so mcv into T2 minus T1. So already we have found out T2 value and T1 suction temperature is given. So substituting that, you will get change in internal energy as 98.36 kilojoules per kg. Okay, so now the work done is for the compression process, that is from point 1 to point 2. If you look into the diagram here, 1 to 2 compression is taking place adiabatically. So he is asking to find out what is the heat transfer during the compression. Okay, so to find the heat transfer, already heat transfer is nothing but change in internal energy plus work done. So change in internal energy already we have found out. Now to calculate the work done during the only during the compression 1 to 2, it is given by P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by n minus 1. So here, since we don't know the volumes, so the above formula can also be written as mr T1 minus T2 by n minus 1. So m is, we have considered that as unit mass and r value is given. So substituting T1 and T2, you will get work done during the process 1 to 2 is minus 196.59 kilojoules per kg. So substituting the values of heat transfer and work done in this formula, we are going to get heat transfer is equal to 98.36 minus 196.59, that is equal to minus 98.235 kilojoules per kg. So this is one type of problem where we are going to calculate the heat transfer. So next, now we shall do the problems based with the clearance volume. So here he has given a single stage air compressor, as it is a air, the cylinder dimensions also he has given. It is having a bore of 15 centimeters, a piston stroke of 25 centimeters. The speed of the piston is given as 600, speed of the compressor is given as 600 rpm. So air taken from the atmosphere is 1 bar and 27 degree centigrade and delivered at 11 bar, that is P2 is given at 11 bar. Okay, and according to the law, it is taking compression PV to the power of 1.25 equal to constant, that is n value he has given it as 1.25, and also he has given the clearance volume 5% of the swept volume. So clearance volume is 5% of the swept volume, that is nothing but Vc equal to 5% of Vs. So Vc by Vs is nothing but the clearance ratio, that is the K value. Already we have discussed regarding this clearance ratio in the last class. So first you write down all the given data, and he is also asking to find out, determine the power required to drive the compressor assuming mechanical efficiency as 80%, and the next he is asking to find out the volumetric efficiency. Okay, so mechanical efficiency he has given is 80%. So what is the actual power required to drive the compressor, you are supposed to find out. So power is nothing but work done by mechanical efficiency. Power is nothing but work done by mechanical efficiency. So look into the PV diagram here. This diagram is entirely different from the diagram which we have done already, two problems without clearance volume. Here 1 to 2 compression takes place, 2 to 3 delivery takes place, 3 to 4 free expansion takes place due to the presence of compressed air inside the cylinder, and 4 to 1 again the suction takes place. So the distance from 4 to 1 is nothing but VA, and from our origin to the point 3 is nothing but VC. Okay, and from point 3 to point 1 is nothing but the swept volume, that is Vs. So work done with clearance volume formula is nothing but N by N minus 1 P1 into V1 minus V4 into P2 P2 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. So here V1 is nothing but, if you look into the PV diagram, it is nothing but Vc plus Vs, that is clearance volume plus swept volume. V1 is nothing but Vc plus Vs. Again, Vs is nothing but pi by 4 d square L. Since he has given the bore dia and stroke length, we can calculate Vs. Okay, and also he has given Vc is 5% of Vs. So after calculating the Vs, we can calculate Vc. So from this we will get V1 equal to Vc plus Vs, that is 4.63 into 10 power minus 3 meter cube. Now from the process 3 to 4, the expansion is taking place, that is V4 by V3 is equal to P3 by P4 to the power of 1 by n. So P3 is also equivalent to P2 and P4 is also equivalent to P1. So P3 by P4 can be written as P2 by P1. So V4 is equal to V3 into P2 by P1 to the power of 1 by n. V3 is nothing but a clearance volume, that is Vc. So already we have calculated Vc, it is 2.2 into 10 power minus 4. So substituting these values, we are going to get V4 as 1.49 into 10 power minus 3 meter cube. So now we got the V1, we got the V4. So substituting all these values, we will get the work done. It is 9.36 kilowatts. It is kilojoules per cycle. If you multiply into number of cycles, so it is making 600 revolutions per minute. So 600 by 60, you will get 9.63 kilowatts. So now, since the mechanical efficiency is given, so actual power required is nothing but work done by efficiency, cycle efficiency. So 9.63 divided by 0.8, it is equal to 12.03 kilowatts. So this is the actual power required to run the compressor. Now to calculate the third bit, that is the volumetric efficiency. So already we have derived the volumetric efficiency in terms of clearance ratio and pressure ratio, that is 1 plus k minus k into P2 by P1 to the power of 1 by n. So he has given that clearance volume is 5% of the swept volume, that is Vc equal to 0.05 Vs. So Vc by Vs is nothing but the k value, we will get 0.05. So substituting these values, we are going to get the volumetric efficiency as 71%. So this is one problem based on the clearance model. Similarly, next we are going to solve one more problem. Okay, so he has given that a single cylinder double acting air compressor, means the air is acting on both the sides of the compressor. Okay, it is delivering at 100 meter cube per minute of air and a mean piston speed of 500 meter per minute. He has given the piston speed here. Okay, and measured at 1 bar and 15 degree centigrade. The air is delivered at 7 bar, means the delivery pressure is 7 bar. Assuming the clearance volume, he has given the 1 by 15th of the swept volume. Okay, that is nothing but Vc is equal to 1 by 15 of Vs. Okay, so now speed of the he is asking to find the volumetric efficiency, speed of the speed in RPM, bore, stroke of the cylinder in two cases. In the two cases is nothing but one is ambient, if the ambient and suction conditions are same, means the atmospheric and at the suction point are same, and the other case is if the ambient and suction conditions are different, and he has given that ambient pressure is 1 bar and if the suction pressure is the 0.98 bar, and if the ambient temperature is 15 degrees centigrade and suction temperature is 30 degrees centigrade. So let us solve this problem for the case 1 when ambient and suction conditions are same. So when the ambient and suction conditions are same, he is asking to find out the volumetric efficiency, speed. So volumetric efficiency is nothing but 1 plus k minus k into P2 by P1 to the power of 1 by n. So k value he has given, it is 1 by 15. So substituting that, we are going to get volumetric efficiency as 76%. Okay, 76%, 76.41%. So next, we know that volumetric efficiency is nothing but actual volume by swept volume. So when both suction and ambient conditions are same, let us take it as P naught V naught by T naught equal to P1 into V1 by T1. So V1 or VA. Okay. So we know that P naught is given 1 bar and 100 meter cube per minute is given, and the temperature is given as ambient temperature 15 degrees centigrade. So if you put it into kelvins, it is 288 degree Kelvin. So from this we are going to VA also, we are going to get it the suction pressure, suction volume also, you will get it as 100 meter cube per minute. So volumetric efficiency is nothing but actual volume by swept volume. So already we have found out volumetric efficiency, it is 76.41 using the K value we have found out. So from this we are going to get swept volume as 130.89 meter cube per minute. So but swept volume is nothing but pi by 4 d square L n into 2. So why we are taking n here means it is for the number of cycles here. Okay, and 2 is nothing but, since it is a double acting, so we are going to take it as 2. So swept volume already we got it, it is 130.89. Substituting the swept volume pi by 4 d square, and he has given the piston speed. Piston speed is nothing but 2ln. He has given the piston speed as 500 meter cube per minute. So substituting this, you will get d is equal to 0.57 meter. Okay, and he has given that L by D ratio as 1.25. So by substituting this, you will get L is equal to 0.7125 meter. Okay, now to calculate the RPM, we know that mean piston speed he has given 500 meter per minute, that is 2ln equal to 500. So we have found out the stroke length. So from this n is equal to 500 by 2l, so that you will get n value 351 RPM. Okay, now for the case 2. In the case 2, that is when suction and ambient conditions are different. So P naught V naught by T naught equal to P1 VA by T1. So we know that P naught is 1 bar and V naught is 100 meter cube per minute and T naught is 288. And P1 is suction condition. Here we have taken 0.98 because this is the second case when suction and ambient conditions are different. So ambient, the suction temperature is given 30, so we have taken it as 303, but the volume we have to find out. It is 107.35 meter cube per minute. So from in the same way how we have done in the previous problem, put volumetric efficiency VA, you take it as 107.35 for the case 2 and find out what is the VS, and the same steps if we follow, we can find out what is the bore, stroke and the speed. So that is about the today's class. Okay, thank you.